Welcome back. Zambia will begin refinancing Eurobonds worth $2.8 billion in 2019. This is according to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Mukili Chikuba. Mr. Chikuba says the financing of the Eurobonds is expected to reduce the cost of debt servicing for Africa's #2 copper producer. And here in Nigeria is set to have over 18 million housing deficit. While this housing gap remains a concern for the populace, real estate entrepreneurs want the youth who are at the receiving end of this challenge to take the bull by the horn.
There have been accumulation and backlogs over the years that resulted that as of today we have to have 18 million housing units before Nigerians can be successfully housed. Now, the 18 million housing units is going to cost government over 100 trillion, to be conservative. And a government that has a budget of less than 10 trillion, it is very difficult for such governments to be able to provide us all. So if that is the case, what has government done? Government has tried to put one or two arrangements in place, one of which is the PPP, that is public-private partnership. Well, in some ways, the problem is addressed, but it has actually not gotten to the grassroots, the real people that are concerned about these issues. So, we still have a problem. So, okay, in addressing these issues, what can we do? We have to help ourselves, right? We have to help ourselves. And that is why we set up a rescue mission, right? We set up a rescue mission to make home ownership available to Nigerians. And then apart from that, the self-help is about collaboration. That is collaborating together to be able to do it. It's not a one-man affair. All this while we've been doing one-man affair and it has not helped us. Everybody needs a shelter. Everybody struggles on their own to want to have a house of their own, but it has always, because of economic power, it is always dwindling. So therefore, at the end of the day, we find it difficult. As a person, I'm part of the pioneers of estate project that people pay in installments since 2006. Right? People bought into such projects. The purpose of that of such is that I want to have a house of my own. But over the years, further that people still don't achieve this purpose. We still, at the end of the day, don't get to achieve it. Because why? Economic power. That is another problem. Another problem is that Nigerians, because of the capital-intensive nature of real estate, we don't get to participate in that field. We all know how beneficial it is to play that field, but we cannot because we don't have economic power to play that field.
In Egypt's trying economic times, one man's trade in crash-damaged cars has boomed. Egyptians across the country are saving money and buying damaged second-hand vehicles at less than half the price of brand-new models. The central bank abandoned the peg of 8.8 Egyptian pounds to the US dollar in November 2016, hoping to pull foreign currency back into the official banking system.
Battling a weakened currency and soaring custom tax rates, Egyptians are staring towards purchasing second-hand damaged cars instead of brand-new models. Mohammed Shaheen, who has traded in damaged cars for over 2 decades, says that many Egyptians are skipping using dealerships and coming to his workshop, attracted by cheaper prices.
I buy cars that have been in road accidents and sell them just as they are. I go to dealerships, check what cars they have. They may have 10 or 20, so I buy them. Then people come from villages and from Cairo, and I sell them the car as it is.
Egypt's inflation soared after the government cut fuel and energy subsidies. The cuts were a condition of a $12 billion three-year loan program agreed with the IMF, which included subsidy cuts, tax increases, and looser capital controls. This, coupled with higher custom tax rates and rising inflation, has left many cash-conscious buyers unable to splurge on expensive cars.
Cars today cost about 300,000 Egyptian pounds, and not everyone can afford to buy that. But when the car has been in an accident, it drops to about 130,000, and when fixed, it can reach 200,000, and that's about 80,000 less than its initial market price. Everyone does this now because they're trying to save.
Many Egyptians tightened their wallets and changed their purchasing habits. The pound's post-fold depreciation helped Egyptian exports, but did little for prices of dollar-dependent imports, which soared in response to the pound's value. Now, Egyptians find it cheaper to buy and fix second-hand cars.
We close the show with the 2017 UNEP Sustainable Innovation taking place in Nairobi, the Kenya capital, where China's green technologies have come under the spotlight. The expo opened on Sunday as the first ever held by the United Nations Environment Programme.
On display are technologies and solutions by 40 outstanding innovation-oriented enterprises from around the world. 1/10 of the exhibitors are from China, thanks to their efforts in low-carbon growth, eco-restoration and green travel. The most outstanding technologies and solutions will be awarded with the UNEP Champions of the Earth titles.
We are delighted to find that a big portion is from China. This demonstrates that China has struck substantial progress in green innovation, and Chinese enterprises are more mobilized to go global to boost sustainable development and green transformation. On the one hand, this is a contribution to the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. It also injects new vitality into the cooperation between China and the countries along the Belt and Road, especially African and developing countries.
As an activity of the third meeting of the UN Environment Assembly, the Sustainable Innovation Expo aims to provide a platform for governments and enterprises to share green innovation technologies and work on solutions to thorny environmental issues.
Among these enterprises, many, as we see, are innovation-oriented ones. Innovation sprouted in China and spread to elsewhere in the world, bringing about common development opportunities and benefits to all countries. Therefore, we hope the UN Environment Assembly, as a global platform, will provide more opportunities for such enterprises to display their green technologies. In addition, we expect to promote more South-South cooperation among countries and among enterprises through this expo.
The third meeting of the UN Environment Assembly runs till Wednesday.
And that's it on the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwago.